Hi there, I'm Neil Vinnycook, and I invited my friend Tracy Bosworth-Page, a renowned headshot photographer from Atlanta, to come visit me in New York so we can do headshots in New York on location. And as you can hear, it's probably noisy, traffic and all that. And I want to see how she approaches headshots on location. Tracy.
I'm very organic when I'm doing headshots. I have a very strict set of rules to follow to meet talent agent specifications. My headshots are really more marketing pieces, so more of a commercial photography genre. So there's certain things that I have to do to deliver the product to a talent agent or a casting director. But my flow is very organic, and I think you're going to see some of that through our shots today.
Okay. So the one thing that caught me about Tracy's headshots are it's very clean. I think even your post-production for me looks very clean. Doesn't look processed, but it's just really clean, and the skin tones are vibrant and looks good.
I'm a big believer in getting it right in the camera, so I really do barely any post-production. I'll clean up skin if it needs to be, but I rarely ever smooth skin. I'll clean up a stray hair or two, if I have to deal with that, but for the most part, I'm correct in camera.
And your clientele are mostly actors or
about 95%
business?
Of what I shoot are actor headshots, and I shoot almost primarily repped and referred actors. I rarely take an actor off the street, but I also love doing editorial portraits. So about 5% of my business are editorial portraits, and that's probably where my true love lies.
So a little bit about the gear. Tracy is a Zeiss ambassador, so we've got a whole bunch of Zeiss lenses we're going to try out. I'm going to shoot with a Sony. And now the Sony Batis 85, 1.8 that I'm going to shoot with. And she has
I'm shooting with the Otis 85 1.4. I normally shoot with the Milvus 85 1.4. The Zeiss Milvus is my standard go-to camera. I've not shot with the Otis before, so I'm playing with that today.
And the lighting is going to be mostly available light with reflector, because that's the style that Tracy shoots in. I'm going to shoot a little bit of that and also use ProPhoto B1 with a small softbox, a small beauty dish. So it's going to be the two perspectives on how we shoot headshots on location.
I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, let's have fun.
All right. So for headshots, we want to be able to show the casting director, the producer, writer, whoever's doing the hiring, every bit of real estate that is the face. So I'm going to shoot this a little flatter than you would a normal portrait. So we are going to just lay a little bit under the eyes right there. And let's see, I'm going to have you lean this way slightly. I'm going to have you bring your face to me just a little bit. So I tend to get them to move, lean into me just a little bit so that the face is the first thing meeting the camera and the body is falling away a little bit with my blur from this lens. And I also, that looks really good. I'm going to really focus on having him make a connection to my camera with his eyes. The first thing that is going to pull in a casting director is going to be the connection, the communication with the eyes. So that is the most important thing that I can capture. Beyond everything else, I have to nail the eyes. All right, relax the arm out slightly because it's almost too hugged to your body. Oh, perfect. Bring it in just a little bit this way on your knee. Nice. There needs to be some connection to your arm. Now I need you to tilt your head this way just a little bit. Chin down a little. Yeah, straight into the camera. It's all about that communication. All right, now I want you to drop the smile like we're having a really serious conversation. Now don't snarl. That's funny though. It's gonna be hard not to smile with you because you snarl at me. So my theory on smiling is if I do get a good smile, I just go with it because there's nothing better than a natural smile that's not forced. So I think I'm good with this first little setup. You wanna give it a go?
So Tracy took a slightly different approach than I would. I tend to look for a really interesting background, and then Tracy augmented it with a reflector. I'm more interested here in using some of the background, the New York City scene. So I'm shooting down 42nd Street, so I'm getting out of focus trees and traffic and lights and stuff. I'm going to throw it out of focus at 1.8. I'm using the Batis 85 1.8, which is the autofocus lens made for Sony. 1.8 will do it. You don't always need that 1.4. 1.8 will sufficiently throw the background out of focus. So on location, I rely on the ProPhoto B1. Moving on location, I don't really need or want the large light. I just want a small softbox. So I brought a 24-inch beauty dish with a sock over it. Just a bit of a kiss of light. So I'm going to augment the existing light. So more light on this side. I'm just going to kick it in. I'm not going to add so much fill. It's going to be nearly on axis from the camera. And kick in the light and just bring in that sparkle on the face and retain everything that I wanted in the background. So give me a second while I just bring in the light. I'm going to shoot in TTL to get my base exposure, and then I can adjust it down to where I want, adjust the taste via my screen. So Andy, do what you do best. There you go, cool. So the flash is overpowering, so I'm going to lock it in manual and just ding it down one stop. So even more delicate light, I'm just going to bump it down another stop. Andy, give us a hint of a smile. That mischievous bad boy look. Cool. And drop your arms next to your side, hooking the thumb in a pocket. There you go. Moving a little closer for a tighter shot. Turn your head a fraction to me. There you go. That's cool. And a hint of a smile. Thank you. We have it. Nailed it. So for the second location, we're out here in the Meatpacking District, and I specifically chose this area because we have much wider sidewalks. It is quieter, but more pertinently, we have awnings. So in case it was raining, we could shoot here. But also, what happens now is, because we have awnings over us, we have light coming in at kind of the softbox angle that we have in the studio. Perfect for working in available light. So that would be my first setup that I would shoot with Michael. Oh, I should introduce Michael. He's going to be our subject today. And then again, obviously, Tracy. So I'm going to start first, kind of show Tracy what I was doing. But I think we are going to work towards the same kind of idea immediately. So let's start. Again, I'm going to be using the Baudes 85 1.8. And we have beautiful softbox quality light coming in from that angle. So I don't need off-camera lighting. We have beautiful light, lights up there, and we have the highlights hitting the pillars there, which gives us nice receding patterns in the background. Okay, so Michael, you look good. Drop your chin a little bit. And rotate a little bit with me. Cool, cool, cool. Let me just focus. And looks good. And a hint of a smile. We need more of the bad boy look there. I'm going to step back, get a slightly wider view. Drop your chin slightly. And a hint of a smile. More. Let it rip. Cool. So the photographs look really good as expected, and we have these lines in the background that work. I can also simultaneously shoot horizontal because this really lends itself to horizontal composition as well. Okay, so just drop your chin a little bit. Okay, that's cool.
Okay, so with Michael, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him into a little bit of a crouch instead of shooting him straight on. We've got this bright white kind of sweater, which looks gorgeous on you, but it really pulls your eye down to the sweater instead of keeping it to the eyes. And because I'm worried about the casting director not staying on his face, I'm worried that they'll be too distracted and look right out of the image. I don't want to give them the distraction of this beautiful background looking at. So I'm going to pull him all the way down. If you'll go ahead and crouch for me. And we're just going to kind of shoot into this dark space so that all I see is Michael. And that's perfect. Chin up just slightly. Okay, Michael, you've got your mouth open slightly. I want you to just lightly press your lips together. And we're doing that just because when you see just a little bit of teeth in a headshot, it can be a little bit disconcerting. And we don't want to give the casting director any reason not to use them. Silver. Yeah, let's go silver. I think we need just a little bit more bounce. So I'm not seeing it, right? Oh, that looks good. So normally we would be a little bit closer to where the awning is, that 45-degree angle. I've got them kind of tucked in a little bit far, so it's making our light a little dark. This is really lovely. Chin down slightly for me. Take a look at that. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. I'm just going to bump that ISO slightly up. I also tend to work with my ISO as my changeable function instead of changing my shutter speed or aperture. So I usually leave my aperture right at around 4.0 because I want to hold the focus across his eyes, and my shutter speed is set at 160 because that's what I can comfortably handhold with no shutter shake. So I'm changing my ISO for the lighting. Chin down just a little bit. Tilt your head this way slightly, right there. Okay, and I am going to have you, can you come out just a little bit here for me? You're gonna crouch right in here. And go down to the same position. I know it's uncomfortable. And I'm gonna move your body out this way just a little bit. There you go, perfect, right there. So that I'm shooting this direction. Can you go into a slightly lower crouch for me? Just with your legs, and come out with your head just slightly this way. Chin down just a little, straight into the camera. Chin down slightly. Oh yeah, I'm very happy with that. So I want you to give me a look like you're having a really great, serious discussion. You're very engaged. Chin down just a little bit. If you've read any good scripts lately, kind of think about that. The script you may have read that you really enjoyed. Chin down slightly. So I've got a little bit of a horizontal line cutting right through his head because of some breakdown we've got going on from another set in our background. So normally I would try really not to have that in there. So please don't think of that as a distracting image. It's not something I would live with. Tilt your head this way for me, just slightly. This way. Too much. Come back just a little bit. And chin down slightly. And again, with that good, engaging conversation, I want to see warmth in your eyes. Warmth, wit, and wisdom. Those are great things to embody in a headshot. Oh, I really like this. This looks great. Chin down slightly. Warmth. Give me warmth. Sell it to me. Leading man warmth. Great, thank you. So I want to adjust his eyes to the right position for the light so I get the maximum impact on those eyes. This is going to be a little uncomfortable. I'm going to bring you right here, shift you right in between these door handles, and do the same thing. You're going to sink a little bit. Chin down just a little. Chin down, chin down, chin down. Oh yeah, that sings. Chin down a little bit more. Serious focus into my camera. Nice, that's perfect. Beautiful shot, thank you.
So I'm going to use Tracy's kneeling down, squatting down pose that she had for Michael. But instead of hiding from the sun and just using the shadow, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to embrace the sun. So we have the cobblestone streets here, which I think will make a nice out of focus background. Going to have Michael turn his back to the sun and then pop, boom, lots of light from the Pro Photo B1. Turn your head a little more to me, a little more to me. And I'm going to move the light a little bit because I'm getting too much of the side light on you. Just turn your head a little bit. There you go. Okay, make sure the shoulders are open and relaxed. Turn your head a little to me. Turn your head a fraction more to me. And camera. I think we're good. Thank you. Let's get out of the street.
I like using indirect light. It's just nice and soft, and we're going to use the reflector. And again, my lighting's a little bit flatter than it would be for a portrait because of the use. So if you want to come this way, we'll grab the reflector. Presley, you're going to move down a little bit for me. Down a little bit further. Right there. And I'm going to have you balance on your back foot and take your front foot and cross it over, right? And the way it's going to stay on your back foot. Having them position their feet first, even though we don't see it in a headshot, is a great way to make sure that the body is in the right position before we start. It's awfully hard to twist from a bad base. And then you're going to come around just slightly and relax your shoulders down. Okay, perfect. And also, I have these right here and I forgot to talk about them. Wardrobe, just quickly. We've selected this light blue shirt with an open collar because it really leads us down into a more flattering shape than a circular or jewel collar. We have this blue that had a jewel neckline, and this tends to bottom weight the breast, and especially in a woman with a larger breast, you're going to end up with a triangular shape. So we didn't want to do that to her. For the purpose of headshots, stripes are just too busy, and the agents are going to be very much unhappy with the stripes. We want to stay away from that. And then we have this white, which is a beautiful blouse, but as you know, as photographers, our eye goes straight to the brightest spot of the image, and I need to keep your eye up on her eyes and not on the blouse. So we chose this light blue to complement the color in her eyes. She's got a beautiful light blue in her eyes, and this should pull it out in a lovely way. Okay, so we're gonna keep her, you're gonna lean to me just slightly and raise your chin. I want you to shift your hip back just a little bit. Nope, you're gonna go back like this. There you go, and then come your upper half. Perfect. And what this does is it gives her more room in the chin. If I tell her to shift her hip or her butt, she's not focused on where her neck is, but she's giving herself just a little bit more lift and room, and that way she's not straining to put her neck out. So many photographers say, you know, to move your neck out and then you end up with a strained look, and this just keeps it nice and relaxed. Yes, I'm going to pop you in right under her eyes. All I'm doing is highlighting a little bit of the bottom of her eye just to pull her color. If you'll tilt it down just slightly, Neil, just right there, just to pull the blue out a little bit more brightly. Those are lovely. Chin up slightly for me, Presley Ann. And Presley Ann has such great expressions that I don't have to direct her too much. I want you to tilt this way slightly and chin down just a little bit. Gorgeous. All right, let's do some horizontals of the same thing. Right there, chin up slightly. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna do a different setup. A lot of talent agents want to see a more centered pose, so I'm gonna show you quickly how to do that. We're just gonna take your feet and point them both toward me, and you're gonna make sure that they're pretty even. And I want you to spread your feet about 12 to 18 inches apart. And then kind of center yourself on that. We're gonna pop that reflector right back into the same spot. And remember, you're bending your butt's going that way and your lean is slightly to me. Bring your chin up just a little bit, down just slightly. We came too much, come up just slightly. Perfect. We really like to see that nice chin line. Tilt your head this way slightly. Chin down just a smidge. Too much, come up just a little bit. Move your nose toward me. Beautiful. Thank you, those are gorgeous. We have relocated to a different part of town. We have found this fabulous metal wall, so Neil and I are going to use this and play with a little bit more modern background. And I think Presley's eyes are just going to glow against all of this chrome and silver, so I'm very excited about this. We're pretty much going to do a very similar setup. Again, I'm doing a full-length pose, so I am on a step stool because I'm short, vertically challenged. I apologize to all the short people out there. And one of the things I want you to do, Presley, when we're shooting, I want your butt to stick to the wall if we're using a wall. So we want to keep her from having this shape and keep her more to having this shape. And again, that will help with that bottom weight in a headshot, because the headshot will cut somewhere in here. So if she's leaning this way, it's really going to be evident. And then we're just going to take the silver and pop it to the bottom of her eyes. And I think I need to back up slightly. I'm using the 85 Otis by Zeiss. So I have to give myself just a little bit of room. I love the 85 because it keeps me within a speaking distance of the client, and I can have great conversations right here. And I'm not too far that she can't hear me. I want you to lean this way slightly, and I want you to kind of tuck your back. No, don't turn, just tuck a little. There you go, perfect. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. And bring your nose this way just a little bit. Nope, don't tilt your head, untilt, go straight back up, straight, and chin down slightly. Right there, gorgeous. And my blur in the background is amazing. I'm still shooting at f4 so that I can keep both of her eyes focused. But these lenses are incredible about being able to give me such a wonderful shallow depth of field and wonderful focal plane. Those are gorgeous. I'm gonna do a couple horizontal, and then I'm gonna let Neil shoot. Chin down slightly. I want you to tilt your head just slightly, too much. Come back up a little bit, just to kind of keep you in that circular pattern so that the agent or casting director's eyes are staying right on yours. And give me a slight smile, like you're up to something, like you got away with it. Really great joke on Neil, and you're getting away with it. And big smile with teeth. And we're good. Thank you.
Still working in exactly the same area, but slightly offset to get a completely different background. I'm going to use this metallic door and the way that it reflects the colors around us And if I change my position a little bit, the colors will change, but it'll just be this warm glow behind Presley Ann. So again, it's just a very simple background, very simple lighting, all available light. Let's do it. Tilt your head a little over and swing your shoulder a little open. Too much. Just center yourself again. Good. Stay right there. Good. Good. Perfect. I think we're good.
Cool.
Okay, and I think that's a wrap.